Who here had a good night of sleep yesterday? Raise your hand. Good.
Wow.
Who here is still hangover? No? Okay, I guess the empty spots are from those who are hangover. All right, cool. Here is the healthy group, the healthy people. Good. Let's dive into it. Thank you so much, Petri, for the kind introduction. Thank you so much, Andrea and Team Ads Accelerator, for creating that kick-ass video. Because thank you, Patrick. Because I got goosebumps from it. I thought we were entering like a boxing ring and starting a battle instead of doing a digital marketing presentation. But actually, battles make sense because here we're starting a battle. Email promotions versus evergreen automations. How you can transform your email marketing into an authentic, amazing sales machine. All right? So, to provide you guys with a little bit of context, this goes down to like, what's better? Facebook ads or YouTube ads?
Facebook ads.
All right, there we have the answer.
Biased.
What's better, webinar funnels or funnels where you book a call, a sales call? What's better, launches or evergreen campaigns? Jason, why don't you give us the answer? What's better, email promotions or email automations?
Well, obviously it's omni-channel. It's going to be both. That's it. That's the presentation. The answer is both. Thank you guys for coming. No. You do want to combine different strategies. You want to optimize for each product, but we're actually going to dive into promotions and evergreen automations, the differences and what you're missing out on if you're only doing one of the two.
Excellent. So, quick introduction about ourselves. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm William. I'm with UpViral. I'm a head of marketing at UpViral, email marketing specialist. I've done different things like Petri mentioned, but I love email marketing, and you will see why in a bit. I have executed campaigns that have generated 6 figures in sales in less than 24 hours. But hey, for full disclosure, I'm also behind campaigns that didn't get that much traction, okay? But luckily, I'm here to share with you guys the framework of what works. Quick intro about UpViral. We are a software as a service, a SaaS company focused on creating viral marketing campaigns, also known as referral marketing. We currently have 32,500 users, and in the 7 years in business, we've collected 57 million leads for our users. We're currently generating 1 new lead every 4 seconds.
And I'm Jason. As he mentioned, we had a bit of trouble with myself getting here, so I'm very glad to be here. Very grateful to Patrick for having me and Benji from Wild Mail. If anyone wants the story of what happened, per Petri's law, 2 beers or 2 gin and tonics, and the story is yours. I'll tell you how I got here. But I am the growth specialist at Wild Mail. Expert in marketing automation and email marketing. I've had the opportunity to work with Russell Brunson and his team at ClickFunnels, Nathan Chen and his team at Founder, Mindvalley, and ManyChat themselves as well. And at Wildmail, we are the number 4 reseller of ActiveCampaign in the world, number 1 in Spain, I believe number 1 in Germany as well. And basically, we are ActiveCampaign for Europe. We help make ActiveCampaign better for European-based companies, and we've consulted over more than 600 accounts using Wildmail.
Super, so now we're going to explain a little bit like how both of our companies understand email marketing, okay? So I'm gonna explain the case of UpViral here. So like Jason mentioned, it's not just about doing email promotions or just doing email automations. We also have evergreen automations. We also send emails with valuable content, lots of it, to our list. That's why they are subscribed to our list. But then in addition to that, and what I'm going to be focusing on here today, is the promotional email marketing campaigns that we do every 8 weeks. Jason, how does Wildmail understand email marketing?
Yeah, so at Wildmail, we also run promotions. We also have a weekly newsletter that we do send out manually, so that's not entirely automated. But I'm going to be focusing on the automations for lead acquisition, lead nurturing, and closing. And we're also going to be discussing some of the maintenance automations that we have to keep your list clean, help with deliverability, and make sure that you're reaching the most engaged members of your audience.
Let's dive into it. The case of UpViral. So this is a screenshot from our Wicked Reports account and analytics software, okay, where they basically show like for each traffic channel, each marketing channel, how much you've generated in sales. And at the end of last year, December 2021, I looked at it and our top 2 channel was email marketing, okay? And this year, hopefully, we're gonna beat that number of $2.3 million in sales. It resulted in 23% of our total collected revenue. And our number 1 channel was Facebook ads, all right? But as all of you guys know, from Facebook ads, you first have to invest, right, to attract new customers. With email marketing, something that I really love, if I can get this laser to work, is it here? Yeah. Is that you, basically the ROI says non-applicable, zero cost. Why? Because once you acquired a new lead into your system, it doesn't cost you anything to send them emails. Obviously, you have to pay your subscription with your autoresponder, otherwise they shut down your account, but it doesn't require, like Facebook ads, an initial investment to attract new customers. So whatever comes from email marketing and sales is pure benefit, okay, pure profit. But with that, I started analyzing, okay, but what did we do exactly? Where did this $2.3 million in sales come from? Was it from the value-based emails? Was it from some email automations we have set up? Is it from the email promotions? And I noticed that the bulk of it came from the email promotions that we were doing every 8 weeks. And more in detail, I noticed that those email promotions that were the most successful ones, they had a common framework, okay? They had, and this is what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, the framework for a successful email marketing campaign, all right? The duration of this campaign is 4 days, where we're going to send 8 emails in total, and we're going to send it to the segment of our entire database with three audiences, 3 segments to exclude, all right? The first one is customers who have already bought our offer, all right? We don't want to send them, well, that depends really on your case as well. Like, for example, if you have an e-commerce store and you sell socks, well, that is something that people might want to buy like every now and then, right? But in our case, with our software, you have a subscription or you don't, right? You're either a customer and a user or you don't. You don't have 2 subscriptions. It wouldn't make any sense. So we exclude everyone who has already bought our offer. Then we also exclude those subscribers who are currently going through critical automations. Like if they signed up to a lead magnet that then has a promotion, we don't want to include them in this promotion, right? Because then they would be receiving 2 promotions at the same time. And as we all know, a confused mind doesn't buy, all right? Then the third and final segment is we exclude everyone who hasn't opened any of our emails in the last 180 days. Why? Because that relationship has gone cold now, right? And we don't want to re-engage that relationship with an email promotion. We want to re-engage that relationship with valuable email content. So we exclude them as well. So those who have not interacted, have not opened or clicked any of our emails in the last 180 days, we exclude them from our promotions. All right? So then, let's dive into the actual emails. The promotion actually doesn't start on day 1. It starts on day 0. All right, and day 0 is critical. It's really important because what we do is we leave them with a cliffhanger. All right, we have a super short email that we send the day prior of the promotion with a very direct message. And the goal here is to grab the attention of our subscribers and break the pattern of all our other emails. All right, and we leave them with the cliffhanger for the next day. This is like when you're watching your favorite TV series on Netflix, right? And you finish an episode and you have that sense, I want to watch the next one, right? And you can't go to sleep without watching the next one, and then you go watch it. He's laughing because he knows. Anyways, so that is basically what we do with this email. And this hack helps us create curiosity and helps us increase the open rate of the first email of the promotion and also the click-through rate so that they go and check out what the offer actually is. Very important in this email, we don't want to include any images, any GIFs, any links, nothing, okay? Nada. We send them this email. Here is an example of a cliffhanger. Hey John, if you're considering signing up for a viral, don't do it. I'll tell you why tomorrow. Keep an eye on your inbox. Wilco. Wilco's the CEO of our company, so he has a personal brand. We sign off all the emails with his name. But basically, you see how, like, if you would receive this email, you're always talking about, like, in the emails about how great your product is, like testimonials, look at this case study, this guy had this success, and all done through our platform. And then you receive this email, like, that would break a pattern. Then you would get the attention of your subscribers. Now we dive into day 1. Here is where we actually start making the sales. So the day of the promotion, we're going to send 2 emails with a 12-hour gap between each of them. The first email announces the launch of the promotion, and it contains a call to action to go and check out all the details of your offer. With the email that we sent on day 0, we're going to get a high open rate and a high click-through rate on this email. okay? Then the second email we send after 12 hours justifies the reason of why we do the promotion, all right? And I've noticed that the most successful promotions, they have a trending marketing hook, all right? For example, something mainstream media, a significant event, an important update in the industry. If you can find something that is trending right now, and you can link that with your promotion, I guarantee your promotion will be more successful, all right? I want to give you guys an example. Anyone here knows Connect.io, the software for Facebook ads? Raise your hand for those who know Connect.io. There we go, we have a few raised hands. So Connect.io was our software as well until last year, but basically a Swedish group of investors came with a ton of money and we sold it to them, all right? But last year we sold this software, Connect.io, but this is one of the last promotions we did for Connect.io. We launched a new tool called Connect Video. Basically, in essence, what Connect Video did is it automatically created the retargeting audiences based on video views. All right, the 25, if you've watched 25% of my video, go to this audience, right? If you've watched 75% of my video, go to this audience. That all needed to be done manually through the Facebook Ads Manager. Well, the software automated everything for you. Well, we had that software ready to launch, but we didn't launch it. We waited. And we waited until we found the trending marketing hook, a change in the industry, and Apple gave us a perfect reason to do it. And that was with the update of iOS 14, that created madness in the industry, right? Like marketers were going crazy when it was announced, like what are we gonna do? We love our pixel, you know, we retarget through our pixel, and some of our most profitable campaigns are based on retargeting audiences. So what are we going to do? Well, we basically, in the middle of that madness, launched Connect Video. We said, hey, you've probably seen this in your Facebook ads account, right? Your audience, review your audiences that have decreased in size. But then I will make the long story short. We say, hey, this is a big problem. Like retargeting audiences are going to suffer. But I'm not the kind of person that just shares bad news without having a solution. So I'm here to tell you that retargeting ads are not dead in a post-iOS 14 world. And then we dove into the solution that our software was the solution to overcome iOS 14. So here is how an example, how we basically linked an update that Facebook made, well, iOS 14 in this case, with the launch of our software. We tied it perfectly together, and we did with this promotion almost $500,000 in sales. Now, day two of the promotion. So here, we basically use the technique of influence. Who here has read the book from Robert Cialdini, Influence? Right? It's like a Bible of marketing. If you haven't read it, you should. And he says that one of the pillars of influence is social proof. It's not you talking like how your products are the solution, but basically how you can basically encourage other people to share their positive experience or transformation using your product and services. And that's what we do in email too. So we share success stories and testimonials. For UpViral, for example, we have Russell Brunson that says we have more than doubled the number of clicks we send to our funnels. Get UpViral, it's really, really cool. Ryan Dice, upvoted. This is a great tool and a great update from the CEO of Digital Marketer. Then we have some people here. Gabe Schillinger generated $200,000 in sales. Michael Kuch grow his list 30,000 email subscribers thanks to our software. So we want to embed this in the emails, and this is how we do it, okay? We don't have them go to the sales page and read them there. We obviously also have them on the sales page, but in addition to that, we add them to the email so that they can read them there straight away. Day three. Okay, here on day three, we're going to reach out to our subscribers with a different angle. Okay, in this case, what we're going to do is take the most frequently asked questions, and I say questions between quotes, you will know why in a bit, and we answer them in the email. So what we're doing here is we're not really answering the most common questions. We're solving and overcoming the biggest objections that they may have about our product or our service. In our case, so UpViral is a subscription, and an objection that people have is, well, if I sign up, like, how do I cancel? Is there any sort of contract? Well, no, absolutely not. There is no contract. You can cancel at any time. Well, what if I don't generate any results? Well, you have 100% money back satisfaction guarantee with your purchase. Just send us an email within 30 days and we will cheerfully refund all your money, right? We overcome the most common objections in email in day 3 with the frequently asked questions email. And then day 4 is the most important day of the entire promotion, all right? Obviously, taking into account that we've done our homework on day 0, day 1, and day 2, and day 3, all right? If we've done our homework, I know that when we start day 4, we're going to double the amount of revenue we've made from our promotion. For example, if we get to this stage, day 4, we start day 4, we've generated $200,000 in sales, I know that we're gonna end up at $400,000 in sales, all right? Because we leverage another of the techniques from Robert Cialdini that he talks about, which is scarcity and urgency. So in the last 24 hours, that's when most of the sales will happen. It's the final day of our promotion, and we're going to send 3 emails creating real urgency and scarcity for the subscriber. The first email goes out 24 hours before we close. The second email goes out 12 hours before we close down the offer, and the third email goes out 6 hours before we close, but with a small asterisk on it, because we don't send the third and final email to everyone. We only send it to those who basically expressed interest in our promotion but didn't buy. Okay, so people who have opened or clicked on our email, they went all the way through to the sales page, but they didn't make the purchase. They didn't complete the purchase. So you can see this as a retargeting campaign for your ads. Well, we do that through email with this last email 6 hours before we close down the offer. Okay, here is an example of a couple of emails here where you see expired. There was a countdown timer. It says, hey, this offer ends when the countdown timer below hits 0. After that, this opportunity disappears. Well, at midnight tonight, I will be taking down this offer. Go here now and get your hands on the program. All right, so this is how we basically have those scarcity emails. So in summary, for a successful email marketing promotion, we start on day 0, where we won't generate any sales, but we generate curiosity with a cliffhanger. Day 1, we send 2 emails, the announcement of the promotion and the trending hook after 12 hours. Day 2, we send the success stories and testimonials. Day 3, we send the frequently asked questions or the most common objections. And day 4, 3 emails, scarcity and urgency, 24 hours, 12 hours, and 6 hours to those who clicked but didn't complete the purchase. All right? Why don't you give us tell us the case of wild mail.
Thank you.
There we go, Jason.
All right, the case of wild mail. So you can see here we've got 3 case studies. We've got Frank in the gym industry, and these 2 here are coaches. You guys can see this up here. I'm not going to read every single word, but the key thing that they had in common was they were sending traffic into a funnel. We had what was called a relationship funnel. Essentially using respect-based or ethical marketing to build a relationship authentically with the people that were coming in via ads. Now, obviously there was ads, there were other things going on, but the primary factor, the thing that was doing the most lifting was the funnel itself. So we're going to go over, this should be pretty familiar to most of you, but you've got top of the funnel, tofu, mofu, bofu, and we're going to cover different strategies and hacks that we use in automations for each part of the funnel. So first, who here is, let's say, in e-commerce? Raise your hand. E-commerce. Who here has an agency? Okay, let's do this one. Who has HubSpot for their CRM? And who has ActiveCampaign? All right, so I know who I need to talk to later on. Awesome. So that's one way that we can segment, right? We can ask questions up front. And you can see here there are various ways. We can segment by their buying behavior, segment by the source or acquisition channel where they're coming through. We can segment by the customer types, their problems, relevant solutions, level of awareness. And you're about to see in a minute how we implement that in our funnels. Okay, so down here we've got this equation. Segmentation is the right message plus the right person, but the multiplier is relevancy here. That's what we're going for, because if you give the same message to everyone, you're not going to have the same level of conversion rates as if you do this here and use their specific problems, solutions, level of awareness, and different content interests. So what does that look like in practice? In step 1 here, this is in Spanish, but we're asking a series of 6 questions. That is ConvertBox. Does anyone know ConvertBox or use ConvertBox? Will? Awesome. So we're asking a series of questions, and then using automation, we use Zapier, but you can use Integromat, which is now Make. We're going to add a tag to them in our CRM, in that ActiveCampaign. And then that tag up here is going to trigger an automation. We're going to send them a specific email with a specific lead magnet based on what they answered in the questions. I know you might be thinking, asking 4 to 6 questions up front, that adds additional friction. It's going to be dependent on your industry. 4 to 6 questions is the standard. But you're also typically going to get higher quality leads. If someone's going to give you that information, they tend to be a higher quality lead, and you're going to have more information on them that you can then use later on in the funnel. So once we've tagged them and we've triggered this automation here, it's a bit blurry. You can see here, nurture sequence 1 or nurture sequence 2. Now we're actually segmenting and sending them down different paths using logic, conditional logic, based on what they're earning, their revenue each month. We know that if they're earning less than a certain amount, they're a better fit for our general program. We have a course program in the past, and they would go down this path here. But if they're making above a certain amount, they're a better fit for our one-to-one consulting, and we want to treat them that way in our messaging, in the rest of our marketing, the way that we're speaking to them. So as I was saying here, you're going to use different lead magnets, different CTAs, and you're going to send them down different sequences based on the responses that they give you. And reuse your existing resources. You don't need to recreate, reinvent the wheel, recreate things. You probably have plenty in your existing company that you can use, blog posts, webinars, etc. And this is a pretty common example in e-com, and this is probably the best example. Have any of you taken the 16 personalities quiz? So that thing, you take it, and essentially he knows more about you than you probably do. And that's a great example of a very high-level way to segment, right? If we're doing something like that, even a percentage of that in our marketing upfront, asking questions from our leads, getting a specific amount of information about them, we can then use that and feed that back to them in the funnel itself for higher conversion rates. Now, you may also be wondering, are you going to create a different funnel, a different email for every single combination of responses? And the answer is no. If you have a platform like ActiveCampaign, or in our case, WildMail, you can use conditional, Spanish again, conditional content. And you're going to use the segmentation information that they gave you in the copy so that you're using their problems, their challenges, their industry, feeding it back to them in the copy, and you can cross-sell and upsell based on those interests. So if you look up here in lead nurturing, it says, this year is different. People seek real connections with other people, especially if you run a digital business like you, especially if they run a service business like you. Not all of these show up. We're using the tags. We tag them from the responses in the beginning when they came into our funnel, when they opted in. We're going to use those tags to then send them the specific content in the email. So you write one email, and then using those tags, you're able to send just the conditional content based on the tagging. Same with the newsletter. You can see here it says, now picture having an entire sales team delivering your message and selling your services, selling your software, selling your products. And when we do that, it's relatable. It sounds like we understand their problems. We understand their specific challenges. It's much better, much more specific, higher conversion rates because we're not giving a one-size-fits-all solution to all of the context that we have coming in. Frequency selectors. Anyone know what a frequency selector is? Or have you heard of that term before? Anyone? So this is a way that you can allow the contact to essentially choose when they want to receive the next email in the sequence. That's all it is. But what it does is, you can see it says customize the frequency of sending emails. It's great in early sequences. They've just come into your funnel. They're engaged. They're receiving those first couple emails. You're going to train them to open your emails, first of all. You're going to train them to engage with your emails. Okay, that's great for deliverability because they're going to be clicking. They're going to be engaging. You can continue segmenting. So in the emails, we like to do it. Where is it? Here. Option A or option B. So get the next lesson now. Get the next lesson in 2 days. You can continue segmenting in your emails, asking them, do you like this product or this product? Do you like this color or this color? If you're e-com, you can do it with, again, their challenges. If you haven't asked those questions up front, you can ask them in the email, and you're not letting a hot lead cool down, improving deliverability rates. And you can use that challenge, or you can use that CTA for challenges, launches, and to maintain the engagement with your contacts. Now, to do that, you can see this is an email block here. We're going to wait until they've clicked a certain choice here. or up until 2 days. Depending on the sequence, it's going to wait until 2 days or until a certain condition is met, and that's going to be them choosing one of those options. We tag them based on that. We love tags at Wildmail. We use them for pretty much everything. And when they make a selection, then they can progress down the funnel. They're not going to wait the 2 days. So that's great for the middle of the funnel. Lead scoring and Gmail Zapier hack. So how many of you use lead scoring in your marketing? How many of you have heard of lead scoring? OK, so every time they take an action, we're going to assign a certain value, a certain amount of points to that action. When they hit a certain point, we understand that they are either a very cold lead, like they haven't opened an email in a while, or they're a very hot, engaged lead, and we want to take a specific action. In our case, it's the Gmail Zapier hack. So first tip with lead scoring, set it to expire. If you're using lead scoring, make sure you set it to expire. Let's say someone takes a ton of action up front. They're super engaged when they first come into your funnel. A few months pass. You keep that score the same, and then they take another action. They're really not still a hot lead. A lot of time has passed. Maybe your offers have changed. So what you want to do is set it to expire for a certain amount of time based on your offers and your the buying behavior of your customers. You can find out how many points of contact your average lead needs to buy using this. And then we use it as a sniper strategy. So down here, if they open any email, if they click any email, it's basically different engagement points. What we're going to do is add a certain amount of points based on that engagement. And in your business, there may be different actions that you consider to be weighted more heavily. Right? From there, this is their lead scoring. We're adding that to their total lead score. And then when they reach a certain amount, we're going to send them down a specific path. And we're going to trigger an email, but from Gmail. So that's a key distinction. The email from Gmail, it's going to be super personalized. It sounds like we just saw, hey, like you're checking out a lot of our content. This also works great with SMS. I know you can, if you're building out an automation and maybe someone just came in those first few minutes when they've opted in, send them an SMS like this or send them an email using the Gmail hack. That seems very personal, and it doesn't have an unsubscribe link at the bottom. It's not automated in that way inside your CRM. It's coming from a team member's Gmail account. So it seems super personal, like they just saw you taking this action, and the copy as well should be very, very personal and very conversational as well. And then finally, of course, follow-up and close sequence. So we're going to carry out an omni-channel follow-up added with human interaction. So we're never fully replacing the human element of your business. But there's a ton that you can automate, of course. So taking into account the channel priority for your avatar, that's actually another way that you can segment up front, asking people how they like to be contacted, and then making sure that you use that channel in your follow-up. And as you see here, you can do it with email. We primarily do a lot with email, SMS, WhatsApp, Messenger, etc. Combine personal emails and calls. And you can integrate your email platform with your CRM, or in the case of ActiveCampaign or Wildmail, you'll have the two in one spot. So if you have like this up here, they're booking a call. We're then running a follow-up sequence, somewhat similar to Will's on a launch, but obviously completely automated and running evergreen. And we're able to see them move through the pipeline. I know it's super blurry, but this is the different stages of the pipeline. And this is all automated. It runs on autopilot. Finally, list maintenance. We don't want to be reaching out, or depending on your CRM or your email marketing platform, we don't want to be paying for contacts that are not engaged. So for list maintenance, you can see this automation here. Super important, the first point, that you make sure to calculate the purchase cycle of your customers very well. We had a client or a customer that they were cleaning their list after 2 months. And we were talking with them. They spend a lot of money. They invest a lot in Facebook ads, et cetera. And we were saying, what is the average, like how long does it take for someone to buy typically, in your company? And they said 6 months. And so they're cleaning their list after 2 months. So if someone hasn't engaged, they're cleaning the list, getting rid of that contact. But typically it takes 6 months for that contact to buy. So they're missing out on a ton of sales and revenue that way. So it's very important that you calculate the purchase cycle and then base how long the time you give to clean your list on that. We We use a recurring newsletter to keep them engaged and keep them informed. We don't implement this typically for less than 6 months, cleaning your list. And the way that we do it is, let's see here at the top. Actually, this one here. This one is basically the boss automation. Anytime someone takes an action, we're sending them through, and we're going to restart a wait block for 6 months. When that 6 months block is up, we're sending them through conditions, and we're checking to see, in our case, we have Spanish and English audiences, so we're checking to see which language they are. And then we're checking to see, have they engaged, and then the first email is going to be a way to bring them back in, a way to capture them back, get their attention, and try to restart the sales cycle, bring them back in. If they don't answer, we've got a wait block here for a couple of days, one last email, and then we're going to unsubscribe them from all lists. We don't want to risk bothering them. We don't want to risk someone marking it as spam. That's going to hurt deliverability in the future. So that is how we typically run our automations for list maintenance. And then some extra hacks.
So going back now to the email promotions, I want to share with you guys 4 main hacks. And the first one is that in addition to having the broadcast emails that we send to the entire list, we also have an automation with 2 simple emails that goes out to those subscribers who click through, they went to the checkout page, they started the order process, but they abandoned, all right? And we have a cart abandonment sequence that basically very simple emails. Can I help? Hey, I noticed you were about to pick up whatever promotion you have going on. Is there anything I can help you with? What stopped you from making the purchase? Here is a link again. You can go and complete your purchase. From that simple automation, we always get a few additional sales. Then the second hack is that you can embed a countdown timer to create that scarcity in the email itself so that they don't have to click through to the sales page to have that urgency, or you can transmit it there, but you can also do that in the email, all right? And we use Deadline Funnel to do this. Here is an example. Deadline Funnel creates a simple HTML code that you copy and paste in your emails, and it will show the countdown timer in the email straight away. The third hack is omni-channel. Don't just do an email promotion and send the broadcast emails and that's it. You should also have like a retargeting campaign going out on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, Google Display Network, where you're targeting those who are in your subscriber base, so they are seeing your promotion and they're seeing your promotion everywhere across the internet. You can add a banner to your website to leverage that organic traffic. You can also post on your social media accounts, organic posts, and if you have groups like Facebook or Telegram groups, leverage them as well. And the fourth and final hack that I want to share with you guys is we do these promotions every 8 weeks, but we don't want to burn out our list. So what we do is we give subscribers the option to opt out of the email promotion without having to unsubscribe. This way we have a better relationship with our audience. We always give them the option to remove themselves from the promotion, and here is a good example. At the very bottom of the email, we say, hey, if you want to opt out of this promotion but still stay as a subscriber, no hard feelings, just click here and opt out. Because let's be honest, not everyone is ready to buy your product or service at this stage. So here we give them the option to remove themselves from this promotion. Maybe in 6 months from now, they will be ready to purchase and they will complete that purchase, all right? So that's also like ethical marketing to have a good relationship with your subscribers. Hacks on automations.
Yeah, grab that from it. Okay, so I know some of the other people that spoke about simplicity, keeping things simple. We do that with our automations. Essentially, the simpler you can keep it, the easier it is to manage. Otherwise, you end up with a mess of automations instead of something that's super clean. And I'll talk more about that in just a second. Use the single CTA during the sales phases, and we show it within typically the first 2 sentences of the email. So typically what we found is the sooner you show the CTA, the higher click-through rate that you'll get for that. And then of course we show it later on in the email and then towards the bottom as well. Using your name in the center of the email is going to improve open rates. Some people send just from like a general company email, whereas we use typically our founder's first name. And if you can, personalize using the name of the contact as well. And then there are two types of automations, the way that we set things up, and it's bosses and like pawns or the workers. Now the bosses, that's your logic handlers. They have no actions inside of the automation. All it does is direct the pawns, the certain sequences that you have that we showed before, and just directs them and sends your contacts down the proper path. And then the pawns do the heavy lifting. They are your email sequences, tagging, etc. And then when you're creating an automation, just have one goal. You don't want to make it complex. You want to keep it separate. You're going to be able to keep everything organized. And that's another thing. Use a naming system or a tagging system when you're building out your automations so you can keep everything clean. In a platform like ActiveCampaign or WildMail, you do have an automation map. So you can kind of zoom out and see how everything's connected. That's super helpful. But yeah, definitely keep that in mind. And conclusions.
Conclusions. With like everything in life, there are pros and cons. So automations have their pros and cons, and promotions also have pros and cons. For promotions, basically what I love about promotions is that it gives you the opportunity to increase the sales and revenue significantly for your business in a very short amount of time. You can also motivate your subscribers to buy by creating urgency and scarcity with a special offer, and it's a very scalable strategy. Whether you have 5,000 subscribers, 50,000 or 500,000, it takes the same amount of work to execute that promotion. Some cons is you want to be sure that you don't burn out your list. That's why the hack number 4 comes in handy, where they can remove themselves from the promotion without unsubscribing. You also need to rotate your offer constantly. So I've made this mistake where I have had a very successful email promotion, and then after 4 or 6 months I repeat it, but it's not as successful anymore, and that is because they've already seen it, and again, that marketing hook is not trending anymore, right? So we always have to come up with new marketing hooks, new angles, and rotate our offers. And the third and final con is that at the end of the day, when you do this and a subscriber is on your list for a long period of time, they can start to delay their purchase until you do the next offer. If they know you do like your Christmas offer, Black Friday offer, summer sale, Valentine's Day offer, whatever it is, they can delay the sale because they have already been on your list and they know you're going to do a promotion. So that's another con from promotions.
Yeah, for automations, you can offer long-term value to your contacts, build an actual relationship with your contacts as they come through. They run 24/7, 365. So I had a call probably about a year and a half ago with he was an owner of a coaching program, strong guy, and we'd have our call on Fridays. So we typically have a beer at that time, and it was typically a very positive environment. I jumped into the Zoom call one time and heard some sniffling, and he turned on his camera, and his eyes were actually like a bit teary, and he was explaining that he had just had like a record month, record month, but his team, his small team, was burnt out. He said, we always feel like we're always launching, and that's when I shared, the secret, right, of automations with him, and was able to help him get that set up. So they do run 24/7, 365, never get tired. Once they enter the business, once like a contact enters your business, you just have to take care of the relationship. Sometimes with launches, they come in, the launch ends, and that's it. If you don't have automations in place to continue building that relationship with your contacts, and the funnel converts traffic into customers automatically. Again, it's running 24/7, 365, and you can just optimize and make adjustments in those automations, in those evergreen sequences. Now, ethically and for authentic marketing, you really can't sell with true scarcity or urgency, because it's always running. And if someone's following your brand, they know it's running. It's not real, typically, the scarcity or urgency. You can use deadline funnel. I love deadline funnel, but it's not always, you want to make sure you do it in an ethical way. And you may not generate as much money as you would with one big launch. It's going to be a bit more consistent, but typically spread out. And conclusion. So again, just to bring it back, the best strategy is going to be to combine both models. If you are only doing one, you are missing out on the value of the other. Find a balance that best suits your business model. One of the things that we found, and I think Will as well, that you guys have found, is that it can work very well to carry out promotional campaigns every 8 weeks and combine them with an evergreen funnel for recurring sales. Just make sure that you aren't, like Will mentioned, you're not sending people into multiple offers at the same time. exclude them from a launch if they're in a current automation. And actually with Mind Valley, they were always switching products off and on. So that's another thing you can do is have an SOP for when a specific product is in launch mode or it's in evergreen mode. It can also, you can recover the cost of investment in acquiring the customer quickly, encourage cross-selling with other products, serves as lead nurturing for a high-ticket launch later on, and it also can serve as a downsell for those who do not buy in the annual launch. So just a couple ways that you can combine the two. And that's it. I think we have 1 minute for Q&A.